2NURFM News. For our sponsor, Tile Warehouse Warners Bay, the large floor tile specialists.
It's 1 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Georgia Lupton with 2NURFM Hunter News. Hunter Labor are calling for a stop to unethical and unregulated behaviour of vocational education and training brokers. The Shadow Minister for Vocational Education, Sharon Bird, has joined Hunter MPs Jill Hall and Pat Conroy in the region today to meet with students, training providers and stakeholders from the VET sector. The Hunter MPs are listening to first-hand accounts from people who have been left with large debts and no training qualifications as a result of shonky operations. Charlton MP Pat Conroy says students should research third-party training providers before signing up.
Seen people who are vulnerable signing up to contracts without knowing, people under 18 being offered free iPads if they sign up, and then they suddenly find that they've got a $10,000 or $20,000 debt to the federal government because, of course, they know nothing about. And so this is really concerning. We need to get rid of these shonks. We need to change the rules so that students know that they're taking on this debt and it's for a good cause.
A major road project is getting underway today on Kooragang Island. More than $100 million is being spent on the duplication of Turl Street Bridge and Cormorant Road. The upgrade aims to improve the link between Newcastle, the city's airport, and Port Stephens. Hunter Regional Development Australia CEO Todd Williams says the project will help the Hunter's economy.
It's an absolutely fantastic project because not only will it be easier to get across for living and working, it also opens up opportunities for freight. The more freight we can get out through the port and the airport means more jobs for the Hunter. So the more we can connect to the national highway system and to the airport and port, the better.
The possibility of a public holiday for Newcastle Regional Show is being put back on the table with some Newcastle councillors showing their support. The council are expected to vote on a public consultation program tomorrow following their failed attempts to create a public holiday for this year's show. Newcastle councillor Tim Krakenthorpe says the community's view is vital to the final decision.
Lake Macquarie Council has endorsed a show holiday in the past, and then Newcastle City Council hasn't, and then Newcastle City has, and they also have. So this is about getting the community view to get broad range either support or not support for this initiative, and I think we'll go from there.
Meanwhile, Newcastle councillor Brad Luke says the idea for a show holiday is a grab for a headline from the Labor Party.
I think it's about time that Labor Party that's running Newcastle Council starts to come of age and get over the stupid, ridiculous things that they constantly put up that are simply trying to grab a headline instead of actually acting in the best interests of Newcastle.
The large number of foxes in Belmont wetlands is hindering the rehabilitation of the former BHP land. More than 40,000 plants have been added in an attempt to facilitate more than 170 wildlife species. A fox baiting program is currently underway. Chairman of the Belmont Wetlands State Park Trust, Greg Wright, says the program should benefit the wildlife in the area.
We've organised a fox baiting program, which we're in the last stages of at present. It's been running now for about a fortnight. The intention is, the hope is, that the fauna species that are at risk from predation by the foxes will have one less enemy in the area, if you like.
Elderly Novocastrians have had their say on driving and other transport issues at the NRMA's Older Driver Forum. The forum, held in New Lambton this morning, provided an opportunity for Newcastle's older drivers to receive up-to-date information on transport issues. President of the NRMA, Kyle Loades, says the forum provided transport information as well as health information for conditions such as Alzheimer's and dementia.
There's people there talking about health issues, Alzheimer's and other diseases that affect the ageing population, and also lots of good information on what do you do if you have to give your licence up one day and how else do you get around. And we'll have a two-way conversation and hopefully you'll learn good information.
In finance, the All Ords is down 125 points at 50.68 and $1 Australian is buying 71.66 US cents.
Sport, thanks to our sponsor Warners Bay Sports Club.
The Newcastle Knights have defeated Mounties 30-26 in yesterday's New South Wales semi-final at Leichhardt. They now face Wyong in the grand final on Sunday at Parramatta, with a winner taking on Queensland Cup winners on NRL Grand Final day. The win was less convincing than their previous two wins over Penrith and Manly, but still sees them coming in the grand final after 3 straight wins. Macquarie have upset Western Suburbs 18-12 to progress to the real NRL Grand Final against Lakes. The Rosellas were on course to become the first team in the competition's history to win 4 straight premierships, but came unstuck in the final series to miss the grand final after winning the minor premiership. And Belmont have won their 8th straight Newcastle Baseball Premiership, defeating Phoenix Charlestown 6-2 on Saturday. Seagull starter Alexander Wells allowed just 4 hits in 6 2/3 innings of work, including 11 strikeouts, while league MVP Chris Hook did the damage on offence with a 2-run homer in the 5th inning. That's sport. I'm Annabelle Regan.
2NURFM news time is 1:05.